The New York Knicks just got fantastic news on multiple fronts. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. Thanks for tuning in. Please take a quick second, like and subscribe. I'm trying to build an awesome Knicks and Giants community. Each person that joins that community gets even better, so don't miss out on being a part of that. Also, hit me up in the comments. Let me know, what do you want the Knicks to do at the trade deadline? Are you team go get Giannis? Are you team just maybe make a small trade, add a little front court depth? Or are you team Knicks stand pat? They don't need to do anything here. I know months ago, I felt like most Knicks fans in my comments didn't want Giannis. I think things have turned a little bit, and there's some Knicks fans on board, but I know there's still some that think that this team is fine how it is. So comment below, let me know what you think. So, like I said, I have several pieces of good news. First, I kind of wanted to show you, here's where we're at in the NBA standings. And if I'm looking at some of these teams around the Knicks, I still, I don't care how many games they win, I'm not that afraid of the Pistons in the playoffs. I know they were a tough out last year, and they've gotten a little bit better, but I think the Knicks are going to be better in the playoffs this year, too, and have more depth. And I don't think the Pistons are quite there yet. They're still a young team. In a year or two, maybe. And I'm not really afraid of the Raptors. I don't expect the Sixers to be healthy. I think the Magic are still a year or two away. It's the Celtics if they're fully healthy, and the Cavs if they're fully healthy and they're playing their best basketball. Those, to me, are the two toughest teams in the East. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that, or if you aren't really afraid of either of those teams. Maybe you do think the Pistons will be a bigger threat than I do. Let me know. But that leads me to the first bit of big-time news, is that Jayson Tatum, the news is that he's likely not going to play this year. And that's a big shift from the beginning of the season, where it said, so this first article was beginning of the year. He said, look, I think I can play this year. I think I'm going to be ready to maybe come back for the playoffs. And now he has, more recently, it sounds like he's like, okay, I don't want to mess up this. I don't want to make things worse. I don't want to come back too soon. And it sounds like he's likely not going to come back now. So that's big time news. Because this Celtics team, they're sitting here, same record as the Knicks without Jayson Tatum. That's a good team. Jaylen Brown is a great player. If they have Brown and Tatum, I still, I do think the Knicks can beat anybody. I have that confidence in the Knicks. But I'm not super afraid of the Celtics if they don't have Jayson Tatum. So that's big time news. The second bit of big news is, of course, the Giannis news that's recently come out. But I think there's actually some Knicks. I think the game last night actually really has a big impact on the trade. So first, the Giannis news, if you weren't following, it sounds like he is officially going to be traded. It's just been so wishy-washy back and forth all year. First, Giannis is demanding a trade, then he comes out, he's like, no, I think I'm going to stick it out with Milwaukee. Then it's like Milwaukee's not going to be willing to trade him. Well, now it seems like Giannis wants out. They're 18-27, not even looking like a play-in team, and it seems like the Bucks have come to the realization, I don't think this is going to work out. So it's they don't have a ton of cap space. They're 18-27. Even with him, he's obviously struggled a little bit with injury. And it's they don't really have much more room to grow with their current draft capital and money and all that. So if they can trade him, get a big haul, that it seems like they are starting to realize that might be their best path forward. But the tricky part with the Knicks, because it's been reported this summer, he wanted to go to the Knicks. The Knicks are a team at the top of his list, of course. Greatest basketball city in the United States. You get to play in the Garden. Whoever wins, leads this Knicks team to a title will probably be a celebrity in New York for the rest of their life. Just an all-time famous New Yorker. I know everyone here is super hungry to see the Knicks win a title. But the tricky part with the Knicks is they just don't have much in terms of draft assets. And it's if you are trading a Giannis type of player, you want probably 5, 6, 7, 8 first-round picks, as many as you can get. The Knicks have some pick swaps available, but there's just not a whole lot. Like, if you're giving the Knicks Giannis, you're expecting the Knicks to have a worse pick than you for a long time. So what the Knicks need is they need the Bucks to buy into their stars as like trade collateral. And with the way Towns has been playing recently, like he would have to be a part of this trade. Giannis makes $54 million. Towns makes $54 million. You're not getting Giannis without giving up Towns, unless you give up. I suppose if it was Anunoby, Bridges, Hart, Robinson, but I would much rather match that salary with Towns. But then you look at the Knicks Raptors game last night, and if I'm the Bucks, I watch that game and I'm like, oh my gosh, give me. No, this is the Knicks Raptors game from a couple of weeks ago. My fault. Give me OG Anunoby. I keep pulling up the same game. Bear with me a second. Some technical difficulties. Here we go. So, if you look at this game from last night, sorry about that. I'm like, give me OG Anunoby. Not only 26 points, 5 assists, completely took over that game, but 6 steals and 2 blocks on the defensive end. Just a monster game. Josh Hart had a good game as well. And if they're more in the Mikal Bridges camp, what a game from him last night as well. Put up a 30-piece, shot 4 of 6 from 3. Like, Bridges and Anunoby took over that game. And honestly, Towns had a really big game himself with 22 rebounds. I think it was 16 in the first half. Couldn't get a shot going. But, like, if you want, like, the Knicks couldn't have had a better game last night to show that the pieces that they have are much more valuable than a first-round pick that's going to end up in the late 20s. So if you are Team Giannis to the Knicks, last night was a big game. Honestly, if you're team, I don't want Giannis, that game last night made me a lot more comfortable. Like, when OG and Mikal and Hart are playing like that, there's no limit to what this team can do. And of course, it's already being reported again. The Knicks are one of the teams that's going to be going hard after Giannis. And then there's an interesting piece that has kind of come out in recent days that makes it even more likely. It's been reported that the Knicks are going after Jrue Holiday as well, his former teammate. And Ian Begley, the New York reporter, said that, I do know the ideas from teams interested in Giannis, that Giannis would enjoy playing with Jrue Holiday again. They won a title in Milwaukee, so trading for Jrue makes you enticing for Giannis if he can finagle his way to a certain destination. So if you see the Knicks trade for Jrue Holiday, which apparently they're looking into, expect that as a big sign that they're going after Giannis. And what's tricky about Jrue Holiday is he's set to make $32 million this year. So he makes the salary even more difficult to match. And if you're, comment below, like, Towns probably has to go in this trade, but then it's like, is it going to be Mikal Bridges or is it going to be OG Anunoby? I think I'd rather see Mikal Bridges get traded, but if you're taking on the $32 million of Jrue Holiday, OG Anunoby is the one who makes significantly more money and would have to be given up in a trade. I did pull up the NBA trade machine just to play around a little bit and found a way to make the trade work. Of course, like, all the trade machine does is say, like, yes, this matches the salary. Somehow they'd have to figure things out with picks. But a way that this could look like is Knicks get Giannis and Jrue Holiday. The Bucks get Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Gershon. And then the Blazers get Kyle Kuzma and Mitchell Robinson. And then, the Bucks would have to get some sort. They'd probably get the Wizards pick from the Knicks this year. $1 million second-round picks, all the trade swaps the Knicks can give. Maybe the Blazers give up a pick here, because all they're giving up is Jrue Holiday, which is a good salary dump for them. And they're getting Mitchell Robinson, who's been playing excellent basketball. But I mean, if this trade were pulled off, you're talking about a starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. God, I don't know who you put at the 4 here. Obviously, you have Giannis in there. But what's tough about this trade is you give up Towns, you give up Bridges, you give up Robinson. That's a lot of the big men on the Knicks. I know there's been rumors of the Blazers wanting to trade Jeremy Grant as well, but then what's tough there is that's another $30 million you have to match, and if you're doing that, then you probably are giving up. You maybe get to keep Mitchell Robinson, but you're probably giving up both Anunoby and Bridges as well as Towns. Maybe if a trade like this worked, you actually probably go Brunson, Holiday, and then have Hart, Anunoby, and Giannis, and kind of go with a small ball lineup. And then I still think this team has a deep bench with Kolek and Clarkson and Landry Shamet. You'd probably want to add a backup big man. But there's a lot of options out there, but I really think the Knicks are in the driver's seat for Giannis. I think they want him. And like with the way, like they have some good young guards. They have Miles Turner. Like if I'm them, do I want 5 or 6 first-round picks that are going to be in the late first round, and who knows if they ever turn out to be good? Or do I want a Karl Anthony Towns, a Mikal Bridges, like a star player to pair with my young guards and Miles Turner? I think I'd take the Knicks package. And whether they get the trade done or not, like I think this Knicks team, they've been playing much better basketball since their players-only meeting, and I think that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NBA playoffs this year. So comment below, give me your thoughts on all of that, and then don't forget, just like and subscribe on the way out.